Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be doing a VOD review of CLIX and DEYY. They won the recent Dreamhack duo grand finals. They popped off their insane fragger duo, and they basically got a lot of kills, and CLIX was actually doing some pretty good IGLing. So I'm going to be doing a VOD review of their final game today. They did not win it, but they did place second, and the only reason they didn't win is because of some basic mistake that CLIX made, but you know, it's whatever. But I'm going to be doing a VOD review for you guys. So if you guys are interested in competitive duos, you guys are going to love this video, so be sure to stick around until the end. So starting right off, CLIX and DEYY land Pleasant Park. They land Pleasant Park, and they land at like a very split drop, which is really good. So I'm going to show you guys here, right here. They think they're going to be contested, but they're uncontested. And it's very good to be uncontested, be off spawn, because that means that you have more freedom in looting and more freedom in farming and stuff like that. And you're just way, you know, it's just way easier to like survive off spawn. And right here, CLIX does get shot at. That's just unfortunate and unlucky. He's getting shot at by kids by Stealthy Stronghold. But, you know, it's just unlucky. So one thing I would like to point out here is that I'm going to quickly go into my Fortnite map. So when I go into Pleasant Park right here, you guys can very easily see CLIX and DEYY land in two very specific spots. So CLIX landed right here, and DEYY lands right here. This is a pretty good drop because right here are the two main houses of Pleasant Park. These houses right here are really far from everything, so they're far from the gas station, they're far from this house, and they don't really have access to everything. This house right here can basically control this entire northern side, and this house can control this entire western side, which is just really useful when it comes to your map control and your control of the general POI. So if anybody decides to push them, let's say from Stealthy Stronghold, for example, they'll be coming from here, or if they try to push them from Tilted for some reason, DEYY will be able to call that to CLIX and they can regroup on this house right here. So it's just a general easier way of like landing and playing. So I really like what they did here. So right here, CLIX is just rotating to the house next to him, and he's calling out stuff like where the trucks are and how many seconds they have until they're allowed to start rotating. So that's really important. Time management is one very underlooked thing in competitive Fortnite. You need to manage your time in order to get good rotates and good like surge tags and stuff, and that's basically what CLIX is doing here. He called out that there's a truck, and he says 50 seconds once the zone appears so that they know when to rotate. They need to rotate in 50 seconds, and they need to be able to prioritize their rotate over everything else, because right here, they're one game away from winning the tournament, and they need to place highly in the game, and that's critical because if they do that, then they basically win the tournament, and if they don't do that, they die and they come second. So it's just, you know, it's just prioritizing stuff. So right here, CLIX has a car, and DEYY also has a car, so they both have two pretty decent cars, which is decent, and they can rotate with both of them, and they both are pretty good on mats as well. CLIX is obviously a little bit worse off on mats because he was looting all the back houses more slow than DEYY was, and now he should be fine. And right here, as you can see, CLIX has a sniper. I'm going to be honest with you, if you're not playing with a sniper this season, you are not playing the game correctly. You guys need to have a sniper in order to get Storm Surge, in order to just get picks, and in order to get points for those specific purposes, you know? So right here, CLIX and DEYY rotate onto this bridge, and they're looking at kids in tilted towers for some Storm Surge. CLIX decides to snope in with a sniper and try to look for some Storm Surge tags on random players fighting in there. That actually is Stretch and Saf who are fighting in tilted right now, so it's not the players that I would recommend that you fight against, especially in Dreamhack finals when you're about to win. So they're very smart. CLIX says, do you want to push? DEYY says no, and then they decide to loot the bridge in order to get some more loot, which is pretty good. So right here, CLIX and DEYY are rotating into Weeping. They're kind of rotating around tilted towers. I forgot to mention this a little bit earlier, but they rotate around tilted towers, and they use the truck because it's better on terrain like grass and sand, and the Lamborghinis are really only good on those roads that players rotate with. So right here, this is a fantastic rotation. They're rotating, you know, kind of past all of the mayhem and all the fights that's happening into the more uncontested side of the map. So right here, CLIX and DEYY are just chilling in the house. They're pretty good on everything, and they're kind of just replacing the house so that they can get tags on kids just in case they need some Storm Surge. And they're pretty much vibing here. Pretty much they're trying to just kill the time. They're trying to see where next zone goes and plan their rotates according to that. So right here, CLIX immediately says follow, and he's planning to rotate over towards that gas station. So he basically pings near that gas station in between Hydro and Misty Meadows. And what's really good about this gas station strategy is that nobody's really going to be over there. Everybody's really just going to be fighting near Weeping Woods and near kind of Misty Meadows area. So it's really, really good rotation. And as you can see here, they wrap the lower side of the mountain so that they're not going to be getting beamed on the bridge near Hydro Dam, which is really smart so that they don't get shot at. And actually, CLIX is starting to become a little bit of a better IGL. If you guys don't know, CLIX is the IGL in this trio, and DEYY is the fragger. And DEYY is obviously a fantastic fragger. CLIX is not a great IGL, but he is proved himself as a good IGL with this tournament. So I would highly recommend you guys actually watch this game yourself. Alright, so this is pretty smart. They obviously need Storm Surge because they haven't gotten any tags yet. So they're trying to get into a place where they'll be able to get enough Surge, but they'll also not be fully W keyed by the entire lobby. So this is pretty good. They base up on some bricks so that they have something to refarm, which is really, really good. Not enough people do that in the games that I've VOD review.
This team's sitting right next to us.
And obviously they're looking for Storm Surge tags on the kids at the gas station. And there's obviously a team behind them to their west side. But it's whatever. That team isn't really going to key them unless they're pretty much brain dead. But right here, CLIX is trying to refarm, which is really good. And they're just really in a really good spot to get Storm Surge and to refarm and to just get a little bit of final loot in order to win the game. So one thing that CLIX and DEYY acknowledge here is that there's not going to be any 70-player surge, which means that there's never going to be any surge in this game where there's 70 players alive in the first 3 zones, which is the first 3 stages of Storm Surge. So they're going to acknowledge that there's going to be a 50-player surge, so they're trying to get Storm Surge for that. So right here, CLIX is looking around, and he wants to look for players that can potentially be some free Storm Surge tags for them. So he sees this player right here, and he calls for DEYY and for him to basically pickaxe this player's wall and try to get the kill on him because his teammate went for the supply drop. That's what he calls right here.
This kid's going for the drop, he's jumping this kid. It's one kid there. No.
And so they go for this, they pickaxe the wall, and they try to get in, but they actually were a little bit off, like not on the same page there. And then they basically try to just go for this.
You're alone? Alright, relax. Do you have a big?
Yeah.
Come here. Alright, we need to look at the team that was fighting before. Let's go.
So right here, CLIX and DEYY decide to retreat back to their old base. They're trying to look for some kills or for some Storm Surge. And right here, DEYY gets into a fight, and he actually ends up killing 2 players right here.
Talk to me.
So he kills 2 players. Now they're pretty much good on Storm Surge. And right here, they regroup, and they're trying to, get out of this fight. This is a pretty bad situation to be in. They're in enemy builds, and they're basically trying to get a kill. So yeah, now they're just basically chilling. They have a bunch of Storm Surge, and they're pretty good for the next little bit. So in total, they've wiped 3 kids in that whole progression. Basically, they're going to be chilling for the next little bit. So right here, the zone pulls towards them, and they're in a pretty good spot. They're right on the edge of zone, exactly where they need to be, and they're pretty much chilling for the next little bit. They have a bunch of materials, they have a bunch of extra loot, so they're going to try to alpha up this location and peace control the entire area around them. And they also know that if they focus rotations, they're going to be winning the game. So as you can see right here, they're transporting the materials so that they'll be good on mats in the future. So they just want to be in a better situation, not be on this layer. They want to be on a bit of a better layer, which is really smart. So right here, as you guys can see, the zone does pull towards them, and they're in a pretty good spot. So they start praying this team so that they can get some free kill points, and they do eventually end up getting the kill very quickly, which is pretty good. And eventually, once they get the kill, they're doing pretty good, and DEYY tells CLIX to focus them so that they'll actually secure the kill, which is really smart. So they still keep spraying because, there's no harm in getting extra surge and no harm in getting extra kills. It'll just help you with your points in the long run. Right here, they are tied with first place, which was Djinn and Agers at this time. And they do end up winning the tournament once they get their next couple points. So continuing on right here, you guys can see that CLIX is looking around just in case there's a free kill to get or there's a free peace control area to, occupy. And right here, this is very smart of him. He gets this player box, and then he almost gets the kill on him, but he doesn't end up getting it and securing it. And DEYY actually calls for CLIX to stop, which is one thing that I find very funny because DEYY is normally the brain dead controller player, and CLIX is normally the slightly smarter fighter. Okay, so continuing on, you can see that CLIX is trying to build up a little bit. He's just trying to get into a better spot. And right now, they're in a pretty good spot. Zone did pull to them. They did get zones this game. And now they're pretty much just chilling in terms of where they are. So they have a lot of meds and they have a lot of mats. They have pretty much everything they need to win the endgame. And they do call out that they're going to be bouncering. So right here, they plan that they're going to be playing full low ground for the rest of this game, and which is a very smart call, especially during this last game where everybody's going to be trying to aggro height. It's very smart that these players try to play low ground in order to win. So right here, CLIX is focusing on rotates while DEYY is trying to look for kills or some frags or whatever. He's trying to just basically be the fragger of the team. And they do look for a couple of tags together, but for the most part, CLIX is trying to focus on going low ground and focus on his proper rotates. So right here, they get zoned. It does pull back, so they have some time to look for a couple of kills if they need it. And CLIX is basically trying to focus on the dead side of zone right now. As you guys can see, CLIX is on the dead side of zone, I'm going to quickly highlight this. CLIX is right here, so most of the players are on this side of zone that I just highlighted up in the top right corner, and CLIX is on the opposite side, which is the dead side of zone. He has a pretty good rotate right now. He's basically rotating where nobody's going to be, and through a couple of enemies' old builds.
Go down, go down.
So, one thing that CLIX does here, and that I don't see enough low ground players do, he goes all low ground. Like, if you're, you know, rotating down a hill, he continues to rotate fully downwards, which is really smart. So they go down once again, and now they see that the zone does pull towards Flush Factory, and they're trying to get closer to it. They're trying to basically stay ahead of the zone. They're trying to play full placement so that they'll have enough points to win the game. At this point, they've already won the tournament, so they're pretty much doing, you know, pretty good in terms of points and you know, just everything. So right here is when DEYY starts to look for a bit more kills. They obviously get this kill onto the Psycho Bandit skin, and they continue to tarp. CLIX focuses on the zone, and he says that DEYY should follow him right here. So right here, they basically switch roles. DEYY continues to tarp to zone while CLIX is manning up, and CLIX looks for a couple of kills. That's one thing that a duo doesn't do enough. It's really just the fact that you guys can both, you know, adapt into different roles. CLIX is obviously a fantastic fragger, but DEYY is also a great IGL. You know, there's many different roles that each of these players can adapt into. So right here, zone goes back into Flush Factory. CLIX basically calls for the duo to get into Flush and just try to get a couple of kills along the way. They get a lot of kills in the way. So right here, CLIX and DEYY are pickaxing into Flush Factory so that they can just, you know, get ahead of zone. And they basically kill this kid right here and they box him. And, you know, they're pretty much in a really good spot here to win the game. They have a lot of items for heal off. CLIX obviously had med kits and a bunch of other stuff. And they kill Scram, who is a player who's very high on the leaderboard.
You're playing heal, you're playing heal. No, we're the best, we're the fucking best, baby.
So right here, they plan to play heal off. CLIX starts to pop the med kit.
Alright, go now, go now. I'm going now.
So what happens right here, I don't know if you guys caught this, but basically CLIX popped the medkit a couple of milliseconds too late. He popped it, and there's a 0.01 second delay right here.
Wait, what?
And eventually they do end up dying. It wasn't really CLIX's fault. It's basically the fact that the medkit actually has like a 0.001 second delay when the timer runs out. It takes that much seconds to pop, and right here they screwed up a little bit when it comes to you know, timing the heal off correctly. But it's okay, they still won the tournament and they popped off. Guys, that is the VOD review of CLIX and DEYY. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel down below. Also, use code SONATAFN. And if you guys do not know, I streamed this entire tournament onto my Twitch. It's Sonata on Twitch with 4 A's instead of, you know, 1 A because Sonata was taken. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.